Hello guys, welcome back to Non-TECHIE, and in this particular video we will be learning about the if-else statements. If you haven't watched my previous video, please guys do watch it and subscribe my channel. Do hit like and let's get started. So in this particular video we will be learning about the if-else statements. So if-else statements are basically conditional statements that we use to execute our code. So in Python, the if-else statements allows us to execute different blocks of code depending on a certain condition. Now the if-else statement in the Python is executed using the if and else command. Let's take an example of a particular piece of code in which we will be determining whether the given number is greater than 10. So I will first create a variable named num and I will give the value as 5, and we will check whether this num is greater than 10 or it is less than 10. So to check this number whether it is greater than 10, we will write our first condition that if num is greater than 10, we will print true, right? Else we will print false. That's all. This is the code, guys. If I run it, I'll get false as this number is not greater than 10. The number is 5 and it is not greater than 10. That's how we use if and else statements. Now the next thing is what if we have two conditions and then an else conditions. So here we use if, elif and else statement. Now let's take an example where we have to find whether the given number is greater than 10, is it less than 10, or is it equal than 10. So again I will create a new variable called num. Let's take a value 20 and we will just check whether this number is greater than 10 or is it less than 10 or is it equal to 10. So here we will write if num is greater than 10, print greater. Now here we will use elif for the second statement. Elif num is less than 10, we will print smaller. Else, now after if and else, the third condition we will give is the else. Now if it is not greater and if it is not lesser, then basically it means the number is equal to 10. So here we will write print equal. And now if I run this particular code, it says it is greater, and that's true, that 20 is greater than 10. Now if I have here 5, it will give us smaller. Now if I give you 10, it will give us equal. That is how if, elif and else statements work. Now we will see the nested if-else statements. Now when we have our conditions and within our conditions, that is nested if-else, like if conditions inside an if-else conditions. Let's take a login example where we have to log in into a web page using an email and a password. So first we will make a default email. I will write email is equal to nontechie@gmail.com, and our password would be 1234. Now here we will be taking a new email which will be an input from the user. Enter the email. It will throw a dialog box where we will be entering the email, and this particular piece of code will check whether the email is equal to our original email, and then we will write the further code. So the email will be stored in this particular variable known as new email. Next thing, we will be taking a new password. New pass is equal to input. Enter the password for the particular email for us to check whether the password is equal to the password stored in our database. Now we will be writing the conditions and the final code which will execute this and which will help us log in into the particular web page. We will write if and here we will be checking whether the new email entered by the user is equal to the email stored in our database. So we will write if new email is equal to email, and now we will be using a nested if-else. So nested if-else would be an if-else statement within an if-else statement. So now we will be giving another if condition here. If here we will be checking our password whether the new password entered by the user is equal to the password. So we will write if new password is equal to password, then we will print, or we can say, welcome to the page, right? So if the password and email are both correct, we will help the user to log in. Now, what if the email is correct but the password is incorrect? So here we will be giving one more statement, that is else. Now here it checks whether the password is correct. If it's not, it will move into this else block. So if it is not correct, we will print incorrect password. So when our mail is equal to our original email, it will go into this particular if statement and it will check whether the new password is equal to the password. If it is, it will print welcome, else it will print incorrect password. Now here our email is correct. What if our email is not correct? So we will give one more else statement to check whether the email is correct or not. So if our email is correct, it will execute this piece of code. If it's not, it will go into this else block and here we will print incorrect email. That's the code, guys. Now here we have nested if-else statements, which means if-else statements inside another if-else statements. Now if I run this particular code, it is asking me for the email. I will give the correct email and I will give a correct password to check whether it is working. So it says welcome, which means it is correctly identifying the right email and the right password. Now let's try with an incorrect password. I will give the correct email, but then this time I will be giving an incorrect password. Yeah. So now it says incorrect password, which means the email is correct but the password is incorrect, and that's why these else statements have been executed. Let's check with an incorrect email. If I give here anything and give a password, it says incorrect email. Now that's how we use and nested if-else statements. That's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and in next particular video we will be learning about the loops, the for loops and the while loops, and we will be seeing how to execute and implement them. Thanks for watching. Please hit like and please subscribe the channel. Till then, keep learning. See you next time.